Okay, another video for you. Past lives. How does this work? We come into this lifetime and we activate emotions, experiences from past lives that are carried back over, that we didn't know we were still carrying. This is why the forgiveness piece is so important, right? Because we're still carrying it and it just comes to surface. Now, I really want you to listen to how this works, because it's going to help you understand how we have been many roles. All right? Many different roles. White, black, Asian, we played them all. Male, female, yep. We're multidimensional. They all exist now, right? When something is activated and it's fully charged, it's happening now, even though the incident could have happened lifetimes ago or 5 weeks ago. If you're feeling it, it feels like it's happening now, because it is, because you're still holding on to it. So past life. I had a past life where I was a white woman, married to a white guy who was rich, and he had, we were from Scotland, and we came over here to the United States, and we had slave owners, okay? Or we were slave owners, and I fell in love with the slave, and I got pregnant, and I was 6 months pregnant by the slave, and when my husband found out, he had killed the slave and killed me and my child. He strangled me and killed me and my child, right? So, and I know a bunch of my past lives, so I'm just using this one for this example so you can understand it. Now, it took me a minute to put together who the people in this life were and how they were all connected to these past lives. So my son's father in this life, we didn't have a really good relationship. In fact, we ended a week after I had my son. Throughout my pregnancy, he cheated on me almost the entire time. And after my pregnancy, a week later, he left me for the neighbor's friend, okay, which was a very painful experience. Now, probably a month after that situation had happened, I had intentionally left my son with him and went out and didn't come home. And I did intentionally sleep with somebody else to hurt him, because it hurt me of what was happening, right? Which is something I never did again, and I never would do again, because I could feel that it hurt me more than it was hurting him. But when I got home to pick up my son, it triggered something so massive inside of him that he had given me a black eye. He choked me. I was able to get my son, run into my apartment, and get away from him. But it didn't stop there. It escalated. Now, keep in mind, he had left me after I had my child for the neighbor's friend. So I had to see them constantly after that, which is totally, it's so long ago I can't even imagine it. But I'm putting the pieces together for you. So after that, there was a few more violent acts of choking me, putting a gun to my chest, just different crazy things. And I remember just thinking, he's crazy, because during our entire pregnancy, he never put his hands on me. It wasn't healthy. It was a toxic environment. But he never actually put his hands on me until I slept with somebody else after we were broken up. Now, the interesting thing was, so in this life, he's black, and does not have a lot of money, and he never moved into a lot of money. So here's the interesting part. He's actually the slave owner in the past life that I had, that was a white man, that killed me and the other person. Now, I came into contact with who that other person was too, that I was in love with. In fact, when I came into contact with him, I kept hearing this voice, a woman's voice, and she was saying, "I love him." And I thought, who's the I in me that loves him? And I was like, this is, it was interesting to me because it felt very strong, very powerful of what that love was. And I could tell he had that same feeling. And then we only talked to each other for a little bit. And then it was like, this is all we needed, was for those aspects, soul aspects of us to rekindle. And then we could go our own way, because there wasn't anything left for us to do in this journey. It was still a karmic relationship. Now, most of my son's life, I hated my son's father, and it was a very strong hate. And I would say for how he treated my son, it wasn't even the crazy stuff that happened to me. It was how he continued to treat my son throughout my son's life. So what makes sense now as to why I hated him so much, because in the past life, he killed me when I was pregnant with my child. See how that just got reactivated and picked back up, and it was like playing out in a different scenario? Now, that hate, just to give you an idea of how powerful our own energy is. When I was 25, I went on vacation to California, and we came across some people that had this these bars that you could hold on to. And they said, go ahead and think of something that makes you angry. And my friends went first, and the little thing was like, me, 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 just like a little bit, right? And then I sat down and I held on to it, and it went, and they looked at me shocked, because like they've almost never seen anything like that before. It was so strong. And they said, what are you thinking of? And I was like, my son's father. I mean, that hate was so strong and powerful, right? So then years after that, I bought the book. Well, when I was there, I bought the book because I was interested in what it was going to tell me, and they gave it to me in Spanish, and this was like in the late 90s, early 2000s, so I wasn't able to read the book, and that ended my quest then. So probably about 6 years ago, I was at work, and I had a 2-year-old iMac. You know, those last kind of the test of time, and I was really frustrated at work. And I kept saying, I feel like I'm going to blow up. I feel like I'm going to blow up. Like my energy, it was really strong, and my computer blew up. Like literally, it was like beep. And they ended up having to buy me a new computer. And I knew that my energy did that. Like, and I was like, oh my gosh, right? Well, I started thinking, okay, if my energy is that strong to be able to do these things, right? What would it be like if it's so loving and kind? So the more that I healed myself, the less I was a magnet to things that I did not want to experience, and the higher vibration I raised. In fact, my field is now so expanded from my heart energy. The last time we did it, and went out 18 feet, just seeing how expanded my energy was, and then 28 feet after I blessed myself. And how did I get there? From doing all my inner work, healing, and forgiving. I had a lot of trauma I had to heal from my childhood, trauma from the relationships, but they were all things that were on my journey. Oh, so I just need to say this part. Why they come back around is because we didn't heal and forgive them. But in my life, I never really cheated on anyone, because there was this knowing, like, no, I don't want to do it. Well, why didn't I cheat on the person was because in the past life, I was killed for it. So I already knew, like, don't do that, like something bad will happen, right? So, but what it was it needs to be healed. I needed to forgive myself for what I did. The act of betrayal, and I needed to forgive the other person for what they did too. Also, so 3 roles need to be healed: victim, victimizer, and the observer. All 3 roles. You have to heal them all, and you do it from a loving place, non-judgmenting place. And that's how we start breaking free from some of this stuff. So pay attention to what you're getting caught up in, what you're watching, what you're listening to, and ask, is it making you feel lighter in who you are, or can you feel the dense and the heaviness of it? Okay? Because if it's dense and heavy or giving you anxiety, then maybe it's for you to pull away from it, okay? And to not watch these things or put yourself in these environments. Know that you can rise above a lot of the stuff that's going on here if you have the right tools, which I teach, by the way. And if you want to experience a one-on-one session or have questions, please comment below with any questions that you have, or message me, and I will make some videos with the questions that are going on. All right, you can find me at bsmission.org. I am Nicole.